How you doing, Jeremy? You doing okay this morning?
Yes, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. By the way, where are you located? Where in part of the world?
Uh, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Okay. So so you are an hour behind me. So it's 8 o'clock for you. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for joining me, man. Jeremy Kuzmarov, he is managing editor for Covert Action Magazine and author of several books on U.S. foreign policy. I always appreciate talking to you, Jeremy. I always learn something new in these conversations. I have to ask, Garland, it basically said you must ask Jeremy about Epstein. The files that were released were nothing burger. Nothing came out of those files that wasn't already known to the American public. Go into Epstein for me. Why is he significant in regards to, let's say, his name is often brought up on issues of intelligence, Israeli intelligence, U.S. intelligence. There's a belief that he was running honeypots in order to hold and have information on people who Israel or the CIA wanted to target. What's true about all of this? Go into it for me.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. I believe the media leaves that out, that he's intelligence, and that this was an intelligence operation, exactly as you say, connected with the Israeli and CIA, and that this was a honeypot trap to get powerful people, because there were cameras everywhere in his house, and all of this was recorded. So what was the purpose of recording? If you're committing a crime, you don't want to record yourself and incriminate yourself. It's because it was designed to, and that's how power often is wielded. I think people don't always understand that. And if you go back in the history, look, why was J. Edgar Hoover so powerful? Because he had files on everybody, and that means all the powerful people. And he knew about all their sexual transgressions. The Kennedys, and now the new documents. It's expected that the new documents that will be released on the JFK assassination will implicate Hoover, and it's already known he had involvement in that. And Hoover was allied with Lyndon Johnson, and they had the goods on Kennedy and all their sexual transgressions, but the Kennedys also had their own surveillance network, and they had the goods on. And they had a lot of journalists in their pocket, and they had the goods on Lyndon Johnson. There was a bit of rivalry between Johnson, and Johnson was allied with Hoover, and they hated the Kennedys, both of them. And the Kennedys maybe were going to both fire Johnson and Hoover, and that's why they struck back together. I think the evidence will show that. So it relates to Epstein because it's the same kind of modus operandi of the power elite. They get they spy on them. They get all the goods, all the dark secrets, and they set them up for crimes. They set them up with these young girls. They lure them to this island or to wherever Epstein his fancy homes and these fancy parties with these beautiful young women, and maybe they make them look a bit older so they don't realize they're minors, and then they're set up, and then they can blackmail them, and they can use that either to destroy them or to threaten to destroy them and keep them loyal, and that's why you see a little dissent. You don't see any political figure speaking out on these horrible policies because they know they'll be ruined. That they have, they've committed crime. Not only will their careers be ruined, but they'll be publicly humiliated. If this is ever leaked, and they'll go to jail. So that keeps them quiet and obedient.
Do you have any expectation that anything is going to come out of these files? Pam Bondi is effectively saying she's been duped, that there have been thousands of files that weren't released, that there's more evidence, more information. People felt like this was a nothing burger. And again, we need to put this in context, right? Like, I'm not basing this off of out of the blue. I'm basing this off of what I've been told in the media narrative about Epstein. The media narrative doesn't quite make sense. They're saying that this man was an apex pervert, apex pedophile, even to the point of having his own Allen, where he would take people to that Allen so they can hook up with kids. That's their narrative. That is what media says. And so my first thing years ago was like, where are the Johns? If that's true, and if I accept that it's true, fair enough. You're prosecuting the guy, so fair enough. I accept it on some level. It's true. Where are the litany of Johns? Where are the parade of fools and pedophiles that were working with Epstein, going to the island with Epstein, if indeed he is who you say he is. And once he died, the story just went away. I said, what the hell? How does that work? Like, so many people like me, certain people in MAGA, certain people who just care about the fact that, or have an interest in the lifestyles of the rich and famous and some of the horrible things that they may do, are like, okay, how are you not giving us the list of criminals that was working with Epstein? And it seems that that is being buried. Even now, even with the notion we're releasing the files, that part seems to be buried. That is the only operative part that people really care about.
Well, I think this is a limited hangout. It's the CIA is expert at this, or deep state or whatever powerful agencies, and that they'll leak a certain information to give the illusion of transparency and we're coming clean, but really they're bearing the real dark stuff, the real incriminating material. So just to give the illusion of transparency, and I think we'll probably see that with the King and JFK and assassination file that they're claimed to be leaking, but I think they're going to still keep secret some of the most incriminating stuff. And they're just kind of leaking small tidbits. Although in that case, it's been so many years, and there have been many researchers who devoted years and years of study, and I think they've uncovered the truth. But they're in books that are kind of on off print or small presses,
Inches.
so they don't get that publicity. Because the King family lawyer William Pepper was a remarkable man who really got to the truth of that. So I think anybody who's read or followed what William Pepper uncovered, I think already knows most of the story. And James Earl Ray's brother came out with a book that was very revealing about how James Earl Ray was set up as a patsy. So that they may only release like some small tidbits of the King assassination, but the truth has already gotten out there. But they keep that suppressed because they attack. Like William Pepper recently passed away, and they attacked him. And even in his obituary, I mean, this guy had a remarkable career, and he was the King family lawyer and did amazing research and unearthed these witnesses from years ago and revealed all this stuff and wrote 3 books about it. But they attacked him in his obituary as a conspiracy theorist, and they just slung mud at him in the guy's obituary. And that's how the elite operate. They smear the real investigator and truth tellers so that the broad public, just thinks negatively of them,
Yeah.
or their work doesn't get out there. So these things they're releasing is just it's a limited hangout.
Let me ask you this: what is the truth about Epstein? If somebody needed to, aside from the way the media talks about it, aside from anything else, based upon your take on this, your research into this, what is the
Well,
truth?
I mean, I don't know everything. I don't know the full truth. There's probably darker
Yeah,
layer
of
than
course.
I know, but from what has come out, and there are some whistleblowers, and there's evidence that would indicate that Epstein was part of an intelligence operation, like I was describing, and
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. He wasn't just some rogue, bad, guy, bad pedophile. He was working as part of a corrupt apparatus that carries out these criminal activities and uses blackmail and sets people up in sexual crime to control them. And a lot
Yeah.
of our political class are controlled because of that. I mean, they are unethical to start with, in that they would easily succumb to it. I mean, if I was in that environment, I would say no. I'm not going to go with a
Oh,
young
you say
girl,
that. You
but
say that, Jeremy. You say that.
but I mean, but these people seem to lack morality in all areas of their life, so they're easy to control.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
have no what's the word, self restraint or
it is it is hard to get to that position without being that way. I mean, and
yeah.
I kind of look at it as, I guess you make so many compromises to even get to where you are, that your moral compass is, just